Have you ever felt like a rare opportunity is forming right in front of your eyes, but almost no one seems to notice it? That quiet, almost subtle chance that looks like a masterstroke waiting for just the right moment to be played. Well then, supporter, something like that appears to be taking shape behind the scenes at Newcastle United. It's not the kind of move that bursts onto the headlines straight away. On the contrary, it hides between the lines of an increasingly competitive market, shaped by bold and often surprising decisions. And look, if you're one of those who likes to stay ahead of the game, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your subscription is what gives us the drive to keep delivering exclusive content, hot information, in-depth analysis, and, of course, that emotional touch only Newcastle fans truly understand. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Here, we go beyond the rumors, we connect the dots behind the scenes so you really understand what's at stake. In recent weeks, while many clubs made noisy moves in the market, Newcastle United kept a quiet but watchful profile. The recent frustration over losing João Pedro to Chelsea lit a fire within the Magpies' boardroom. The target was strategic, young, talented, and with strong potential for growth, exactly the kind of signing Eddie Howe values and develops better than most. But at the last moment, Chelsea came in with an aggressive long-term offer that sealed the player's fate with a 7-year contract. The disappointment of losing another key target soon turned into a sense of urgency and calculated strategy behind the scenes at St. James Park. But what few have noticed is that Newcastle's response might be even more precise and symbolic. A quiet plot twist could be brewing, and it has a name, a position, and even a recent history of mutual interest. The fans paying close attention might realize we're on the verge of a sporting revenge of sorts, and this move has all the makings of one that could leave a deep mark on both the Magpies squad and Chelsea's pride. Yes, supporter. We're talking about Noni, the left-footed right-winger, now 23, was already on Newcastle's radar last summer. At the time, a loan deal was considered, but didn't materialize. Now, with the market heating up and Chelsea struggling with an overpacked and increasingly competitive squad, new possibilities are emerging, and this might be the perfect chance for Newcastle to strike back. According to trusted sources like NEWCASTLE and journalist Fabrizio Romano, Madueke's name may be on Chelsea's list of players available this window, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now's the perfect time. Following these behind-the-scenes developments makes all the difference if you want to stay one step ahead in the Newcastle conversation. Your subscription helps the channel grow and shows that you're part of this passionate fan base that doesn't just celebrate but understands the game beyond the pitch. The context behind Madueke's potential departure is simple, yet powerful. Chelsea have spent heavily on young talents and attacking players. Since Roman Abramovich left the club, they've splashed nearly £2 billion on signings, creating a serious overcrowding in attacking positions. Names like Cole Palmer, Christopher Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, Pedro Neto, Marquinhos Guiu, Estevão Willian, Raheem Sterling, and even João Felix form a squad far too competitive for everyone to get their fair share of game time. With Enzo Maresca at the helm and more signings incoming, Madueke may be losing the protagonism he deserves. And this is exactly where Newcastle's sharp thinking comes into play. Bringing in a winger like Madueke for a reported £50 million may seem bold, but when you consider Eddie Howe's track record with young English talents, it makes total sense. Madueke still has plenty of room to grow and has already shown in his limited opportunities at Chelsea that he has the skill, pace, and creativity to change matches. He could be exactly what's missing on the right side of Newcastle's attack, offering unpredictability and depth. In fact, Fabrizio Romano recently revealed that Madueke is also being monitored by Arsenal, further underlining his market value. According to the journalist, he is one of the appreciated players internally at the Gunners. However, no official bid has been made so far. This puts Newcastle in a strong position with the right focus and timing. They could swoop in and seal the deal before competition heats up. If you've made it this far, you're clearly invested in everything going on with Newcastle. So take a second to subscribe to the channel. That way we can keep delivering exclusive stories like this one, plus analysis that goes far beyond the headlines. We're always paying attention to the quiet moves because often, those are the ones that matter most. Meanwhile, over at Chelsea, the possibility of parting ways with Madueke is already raising eyebrows. Former Blues defender Scott Minto told NEWCASTLE he can't understand why the club would consider letting go of such a promising player. According to him, Madueke is good enough to play on both wings and could easily be one of Chelsea's standout players under Maresca. His comments only add weight to the idea that Madueke still has plenty to offer, value that Newcastle seem ready to unleash. Let's now look deeper at what Madueke could bring tactically to Newcastle's squad. With Anthony Gordon on one flank, Alexander Isak or Callum Wilson through the middle, and Madueke on the other side, Howe would have a fast, skillful, young front line with massive growth potential. What's more, Madueke's versatility would allow for tactical flexibility, including playing more centrally or in counter-attacking scenarios, which could be vital for big matches in the Premier League or even in European competitions. What's most fascinating is that this potential signing wouldn't just be a reinforcement, it would be a symbolic, almost emotional response to the frustration of losing João Pedro, showing that Newcastle can not only compete with the big clubs but also poach important talents from their squads, would send a clear message of strength. And we all know how much that matters in a league like the Premier League. Speaking of which, the PSR profit and sustainability rules have made Newcastle's transfer strategy even more difficult. That's why every signing must be strategic, offering room for appreciation and guaranteed technical impact. Madueke fits that profile perfectly. At just 23 years old, with experience at PSV and Chelsea, he represents the kind of investment that can pay off both on and off the pitch. Back behind the scenes, things remain tense. The information is still at an early stage, but the idea that Madueke might be available at what's seen as a reasonable price, considering the Premier League's inflated market, has excited Newcastle's directors and analysts. A well-structured offer, perhaps with performance-based clauses, could make all the difference. So, it's clear that this transfer window still has a lot in store for Newcastle. If you want to stay on top of every twist and turn involving Madueke, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You'll always be one step ahead, understanding not just what's happening, but why each move matters. Because when it comes to Newcastle United, nothing happens by chance, and every decision off the pitch can change everything on it.